Hey, second grade, today I'm at the bottom of your screen while we're working through our art lesson. As you saw in this video, we're going to be making some really cool Pablo Picasso inspired self-portraits, which means you're going to get to be drawing yourself, but the portrait that you draw is not going to look exactly like the real you. As we see in some of these examples, I'm going to play them for us here. We notice, like the video is talking about, there are a lot of colors and shapes that we normally don't see on our faces, but that's what makes his art really special and really cool, and we're going to do it very similarly.
Use whatever colors and shapes you feel like. Whatever describes you. Express how you feel on the inside, on your paper. These are some examples of
So I just wanted to show you these because these are some great examples that show how, yes, it does look like a person. We see a face, ear, hair, neck, mouth, eyes, but it also looks a little bit different because the way they've drawn the nose and how they've colored the face in different colors, and then their neck is a totally different color. These ones have dark or bright colors also in the background, which is another element you can add. There was one I wanted to go back to at the beginning. Let's see if I can get to it. Oh, this one. Again, we see all of these amazing bright colors coming out behind him. The whole page is colorful, so colors are super important. I also want to show you these pictures. That's the same one we were just looking at. And again, I love it because of all the colors that are in the picture. Let's go to another one. Let's see. This is another one that I think is great. It has, again, so many different colors going on her face, and in the background, there is no white on the paper at all. We see the nose is turned a little sideways. We see circles here for her cheeks. Her eyes are looking different ways. There's one eyebrow here, but not there. So the picture is a little bit different than what she really looks like in real life, but that's what's fun about Pablo Picasso. Here's another great example where I love this person did different styles of hair on either side, and then they actually draw lots of different lines on their face and colored them all different colors. So I see that it's still a person and a face, but it looks a little bit abstract. It's a little different. Here's another one that I think is neat because they actually change the direction of the eye. They have really cool green over here, and then you see a little of that same green on the ear. They have this cool line for the nose, and then their mouth is also different. Here are some more examples, quite a few of them, where you see that the features on our face, the nose, the mouth, eyes, are all different. This one has eyelashes on the bottom, that one has eyelashes on the top. This one has an eyebrow, that one doesn't. This one has like a sideways heart to make the mouth. This one has eyes facing different ways. So they're totally abstract, and like they said in the video, they're very unique. You can make them just how you want. So for this lesson, I'm going to pull up, my camera so you can see. Let me get it plugged in. Sorry about it being dark. Just wait 1 second. You are going to need some watercolor paper for today. You don't have to use watercolors. You get to choose how you want to color it in at the end, but we are going to use it because it's really nice and thick paper, you might have noticed, and it's going to hold and show the colors super well because it's so thick. You're also going to need a pencil. I always start out with pencil because I like to be able to erase, and then I also do have a Sharpie that I'm eventually going to go over it with to make it nice and dark. So when we're doing a self-portrait, you get to decide how much of the rest of your body you want showing. This self-portrait is really about your head, so you just need to decide how much of your paper you want to be like your neck and shoulders. So for me, I'm going to make most of this my head, then I'm just going to keep a little bit at the bottom to be my neck and shoulders. So I'm going to start out by drawing a head shape, and it's not going to be perfectly round or oval. I want to make it a little bit more like a triangle with round edges, almost like a piece of candy corn, because I think that'll be kind of funky for the Pablo Picasso portrait. But if you want to make it an oval, you totally can. This is your project. It is up to you. Alrighty, now I'm going to draw my neck coming out of here. And then I'm going to just draw some shoulders off the page, and that'll be kind of a fun part to decide what colors I want to use and how I want to make my neck and my shirt look abstract. I'm pretty excited for that. Alrighty, next what I'm going to do, I really liked how that person, a lot of them had like a nose, they had like a whole line going down their face like this, and that was their nose. It kind of divided their face into two parts. Let's look at some of those examples that we had just to get some ideas. Because the cool thing about this project, oh, I think I closed them. The cool thing about this project is that it really is what you want to make your self-portrait look like. You get to really make it unique. So if you want to do a different line down the middle for a nose, you totally can. This is kind of what I was thinking of there. or even here. So you want to do it that way. You can add multiple lines. I'm just showing you generally how we can make the portrait, but then you really get to decide because you're the artist. Now I'm going to draw on some eyes, and I really liked how some of the eyes were up the correct way, like normally, and others of the eyes were turned around. So I'm going to make a big eyelid like that, but then on this side, I think I'm going to turn it like this. Again, you can make your eyes a little differently. If you want one eye that's maybe square and one that's round, play around with shapes. You can do all of that how you want to. Right now, these eyes look a little bit empty, so I'm going to add just a pupil in the middle. You can color it in, or you can save it and make it the color of your eyes, but I'm going to color it in just for now. Then I'm going to add some eyelashes. You can add these. You don't have to. It's a detail. Actually, you can also add like a little eyelid right there. Now I need to add some other stuff because all I see is eyes, and I know I definitely have more than eyes. So on this side, I'm going to draw an ear, and I think I'm going to do like a square kind of ear on that side. And I think on this side, I'm going to do like more of a traditional kind of ear, just to mix it up. But again, you can be doing your own shapes. It's totally up to you how you want to make this portrait. It's already going to be abstract, so it doesn't totally look like us, but that's what's fun. We play around with those shapes and colors. Then I think I'm going to do, I really like those big heart, no, you know what? I think I'm just going to do lips like this. But I did like those big heart lips. And I'm just going to draw off my line like this. Notice my lips are actually a little bit different size on each side of the line, but I'm kind of okay with that because I think it actually makes it kind of cool. So now I kind of have my basic head drawn. I'm going to add some hair. I'm going to show how you can do a girl's hair, but boys, if you want to do different hair, you can do shapes or spikes or make it look a little bit more abstract than your regular hair. I'm going to do like that one that I saw where she had different hair on both sides of her. I thought that was so cool. She had totally different hair. And now my abstract self-portrait is starting to come together. Now I really want to think about how I can work on the neck part and the shirt part. How can I really make that abstract? And I remember that they talked so much about shapes, lots of different shapes. So I'm trying to think of some cool shapes I could play around with. So I'm going to draw some triangles going like this. Then I think I'm going to draw some more triangles on top of it to make kind of a unique collar for my shirt, the top of my shirt. Then I think I'm just going to divide these parts into big squares, but this is where you can get creative. What shapes can you plug in here to make it look kind of abstract? Once your self-portrait is all done, what you're going to do is you are going to take a Sharpie works best, especially if you are going to end up using watercolor, because then it won't run when you have your watercolor. You are just going to outline all of the parts of your self-portrait. You're just going to outline them in black. That way, later when you go in and add color, you can see everything that you drew really clearly. So I'm going to pause the video and I will come back when I have this step all done. All right, so I have my self-portrait all outlined. The only thing I did not outline was the eye parts because I do want to put a special color in there. Now, your next step is just to add color. But before we do that, I wanted to challenge you to do one other thing. You might remember that on those portraits we saw, there really was not a lot of white. They were fully color. So I'll color in my whole body, everything I drew, but I still have all this space in the background. And if you remember, a lot of the ones we saw in the pictures in the video actually had colors and patterns in the background. So even before you start to color, what I would challenge you to do is add some cool patterns, shapes, or colors in the background of your art. You could even just draw like lines to divide into sections and color this something, color this a different color. You could just do that. Maybe if you really like a certain shape, you could draw that shape in the background, like circles or trapezoids or squares. I'm just going to draw some lines out and try to make each section a different color. But I don't want to leave any white spots because that was what Pablo Picasso was so well known for, was his really colorful pieces of art. And you probably already figured it out, but that's why we're doing these self-portraits this week, because it's our color challenge week. We have so much color. So now what you can do is this. There are a couple different options of how you can add color to this. We did it on watercolor paper because it's nice thick paper, and now you can watercolor each section a different color. That really helps make it abstract, is to do a different color here, here, different color here on all the parts that are touching. Then it'll be a really nice contrast, like an orange and then a blue, or green, a yellow, whatever colors you like. The other thing you can do is you can use crayons or markers to color it in. And when you're using crayons and markers, you just want to make sure you're coloring really strong. The most important thing about Pablo Picasso's work was often how strong the colors were. So we want to make the colors so strong. I'm just going to show you on the back this trick I showed you, I think, in class. When we color a shape in, I really like to do this with my markers or my crayons. I find that it helps me so much so that I actually color it in really, really strong. I actually like to trace the inside of the shape with the color like this. And then I can just fill it in. And that way I for sure get really, really, really strong colors. And the same thing works if I'm doing it with a crayon. I like to kind of do that outline. Then I color it in even stronger. And it just really helps me make sure I get all of the colors inside really bright, just like that. So again, make sure you use bright colors, use different colors, your favorite colors. Remember, colors can mean different things. So I'm really excited to see what happens when yours is all done. I hope you can share them with us on Seesaw. I'm excited to see what it looks like and how it looks. I'm going to finish this up and then I will show you guys on the video, and I'm really excited to see yours. Alrighty, so my self-portrait is all done. I did some watercolors. I chose to do watercolor, but again, you can choose markers, crayons, colored pencils, watercolors. Just make sure it is totally filled. I just now realized I did leave some parts white, but other than that, there's just so much color on this, and it's so fun and funky and abstract, and yet it still kind of looks like me, which I love. So have fun making your second grade. I am so excited to get to see it. If you want to share it on Seesaw, you can. There is no assignment for it today. So just if you want to upload it or if you want to share it later this week, if you get to work on it later. So have fun creating your self-portrait Picasso style.